Magic banned Jump for cheating. Did Magic ever ban you for cheating?
This is true.
No.
All right,
He
so then Jump's better.
Jump's awareness is so suspicious that I actually banned him for cheating. Like actually. Like actually. His crosshair placement and like situational awareness is so good that I actually banned him from the server. And then he's like, "Why'd you ban me?" Because I'm like, "Because you're cheating." He's like, "Well, do you have any like recording or like proof of it?" And I'm like, "No." No, no, I don't have any proof. There's no actual proof. There's no
So,
proof of you cheating. And then he's like, "Well, then like what do I do?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
so this was when this was happening. I was like talking to you about it, and you were like, "Okay, we're gonna have. I'm gonna go to Jump's house and
Oh
watch him play."
yeah.
That's what you were saying.
Oh, I
What?
Either
remember that. Because
something
he's
like that.
local. He's local. He's only like a city or two away. So I'm like, you know what we'll do? We'll do the eyeball check. He's local. I'm gonna go to his. If he can prove to me in real life that he's not cheating, he should be able to fucking play the same way in front of me. and then.
Hey, I think this is a podcast topic. Just saying.
And then
It's
so what I messaged him and I'm like, "Bro, is it cool if I like come over and watch you play?"
he's
And
like,
then
no.
no, he said yes. He said, "Yeah, dude, like it's totally chill. Like
Wait,
come
what
over."
the heck?
And then I was just like, "Oh fuck, he's calling me on my bluff, bro." Like, I don't actually want to go to this dude's house and watch him play. And I was like, "Fuck." He fucking called my bluff, and I was just like, "Ah, fuck, you're unbanned. Sorry, I banned you. I'm an idiot. My bad."
Mm.
Dang.
Yeah. You know, sometimes to be the one of the world's greatest admins and pioneers of the op genre, you've got to admit your mistakes. You've got to willing to you have to be willing to concede, and tell people that, you know what, I was wrong. As your leader, I failed you, and as a human, I have humility, and I admit that I made a mistake, and all I can do is pray for your forgiveness. So
I'm sure he forgives you.
I'm not sure. I'm just kidding. We've talked to him, so he doesn't give a fuck. He's all good. Unfortunately, the jump king, the jump man himself, he's a I mean, unfortunately, I mean, good for him, right? I mean, he's a father now. There's a little jump out there.
Oh,
So,
Yep.
yeah, so he's got other priorities in life, but we miss him in the op server, that's for sure. What are some what? So yeah, we got Nerd still plays. It'd be nice to see a Black Blood back in the server. Chaotic still plays. That's he does pretty well.
is he out better than me, Justin?
Chaotic?
Yeah.
I don't know. So chaotic is definitely a try hard. When I spectate him, I don't think he's like doing for fun stuff. It's just he's one of those players that if he's not doing well, he'll just leave the server.
That's true.
So like I've not looked at chaotic and been like impressed, but he's not bad. He's like Nur if Nur were talented at opping.
Oof.
Dang.
Like if Nur were like if Nur could aim consistently, like if Nur were able to like be assertive on the server, peek an angle confidently, and just take over. Like I think chaotic could do that. I don't think Nur can do that. But then like
Humiliation.
he at the same time, Chaotic's definitely also a baiter. But it's just like he plays. I think like yeah, I think Chaotic plays correctly. Correctly meaning like he knows how to climb and like just get kills without dying. And
Yeah.
when you play Chewie, you have too much fun.
This is true.
You go for no scopes. You go for quick scopes. You you kind of like you push when and you don't really bait. It's wrong. No, your play style, like you shouldn't be number one with your play style. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You shouldn't be getting away with this, and yet you are. And that's not really telling about you. That's telling about your competition. That there's no one out there that's punishing your gameplay.
Oh man. We'll get into it.
We need to get a bird food back. We need a young bird food in the server.
You think bird food would punish Chewie? Prime
Let's
bird
see.
food?
Prime bird food. So bird food's actually, if I remember correctly, he played with pretty high sensitivity, pretty like twitchy, high sensitivity. I don't know. I never really saw Bird play with like some of the big dogs. You know, he was kind of farming points when it was kind of easy mode in the server.
Yeah, I'd compare bird food also to chaotic. Bird food is the same thing where he would bird food's era was back when the points went up to like 18,000 and he was kind of just grinding just to stay above automatic. So like he would just pop on, gain some points and then leave. And once we changed the point system, it didn't become like that. It was instead like hop on the server and try to gain like 20 points and then leave if he's already at like 2k.
Right.
It's like so much harder to not lose points. So he was another one who would just like leave the server as soon as like if I because I would definitely be the type of person to target bird food or chaotic, and if I succeeded they might just leave the server because
Yeah, that's a valid tactic to use, right? You just like you see one of the top players is in the server, and you're like, well, if I can't get number one, the least I could do is get him not to be number one.
that's
So, and then you just target him. You're like, fuck it, dude. I'll sandbag a few hundred points just to take away, 30 of yours. Screw it.
So yeah, that's would bird food be able to counter Chewie? I think he could. I think that well, I don't know. I haven't studied Chewie's playstyle enough. I know like he pushes aggressively and he's not slow, he's fast, he hits his shots, he can aim. It's just if at any point he's playing for fun and going for a no scope, he's gonna die to bird food. He's gonna die to chaotic. He's gonna die to any competent player on the server. And like you can't be caught trolling on the server when there are actual talented players online. And that's why it's kind of a shame to see the rank 1 player just disrespecting the competition in such a way.
So this month we have Qiro putting sweat in. She's expressed that she wants that pizza. So she's in second place right now. As it stands, Chewie has 1,527 points. Qiro is about 100 points behind him. She has 1,406 points. And what Qiro can go on terrors, bro. She can get nutty with it. Holy.
Man, dog, okay. When I would look at Game Me stats to like see people's accuracy, there was one map where Qiro is on Eggplant and she had 100% accuracy. And I was like, how is this possible? Like, it wasn't like, oh, she just joined. It was probably like 30 kills in with 100% accuracy. I don't know if it was because she was getting knife kills, so it was inflating the accuracy.
Qiro's not really a knifer to my knowledge. I don't really remember her. Like, I don't.
Maybe.
Right?
I did get tased a couple days ago, but by Qiro. But I don't know. But so I mean, that's the one. I mean, either she was hitting every single shot or she had knife kills. I wouldn't be surprised if she was hitting every single shot.
Yeah.
But like I saw that, I was like, okay, this is because I wasn't familiar with Qiro's game at the time, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna spectate Qiro. What are they doing? But they were just nuts. So I mean, I agree. Qiro is real competition for Chewie.
True.
At the same time, I wouldn't say like I think Qiro is also more of a for fun player. So I wouldn't
I
be
agree.
surprised.
I wouldn't put Qiro into the sweats category. She can pick and choose. When I feel like she's very map. Like if it goes to a map she likes, right? Then she'll be like, "All right, time to fucking lock in. Let's go." But then other times she can just kind of be chilling, having a good time.
Who else? I mean, there's Chenny. I think my impression of Chenny, he's good. He's accurate. He hits his shots. I just think he's not like quick. But maybe that was like the one impression I had is that I don't think Chenny's like fast with the opening. I think he's just like solid. Like he's gonna nail the shot.
Yeah, I would say Chenny's consistent. Like when he's playing, he's playing the game, right? He's not making stupid decisions. His risk management is good. He doesn't really overstep too many angles. He's not taking ridiculous fights like Chewie is. He's not having like he's not just being silly and jolly about it either. I think he's just nice, keen peel, consistent Chenny.
Man, I really wish Game Me. I don't know why it doesn't show accuracy anymore. I recall when it did show accuracy that Chenny was around like near like 57% accuracy, which is really high.
Yeah,
maybe 60. I don't know. So
I used to be one of those guys that like did high accuracy stuff, but not anymore. Those days are gone. I mean, so when we like talk about like an AWPer and like the good AWPers in the server, like what is good AWPing? Like what is something that constitutes like, okay, dang, like that's a good player right there. I mean, obviously it's a score line, but there's like more to it than just like having a good score. There's like
I agree.
There's
like for example, Nur can have a good score line, but I don't think you're gonna watch him and be too impressed.
Right.
I keep trashing on Nur, but I mean, this is gloveworks here. This whole community trashes on him, but like yeah. So Nur could have a good score line, but why do I say that I'm not impressed if I would spectate him? Well, I don't think he's like a take over the server kind of player. I don't think he's and that's what I think of when I think of a good AWPer is no matter what team they're on, no matter who the opponent is, on the AWP server, they're going to be the star. They're going to be the one who is getting all the kills in any situation, and everyone else is going to try to challenge them and fail. So it's the person who can peek an angle and get the kill. They don't have to rely on baiting, but they could. I mean, but like realistically, that's not the same thing as being a good gloveworks AWPer, I guess. Like there's the people who are like complete like phenomenal people, but then there's just the people who can climb. There's climbing, which is like you're just gonna play smart. You're gonna primarily bait your teammates, get trade kills, You're gonna do the best angles, like meaning you're gonna head glitch in this weird off angle that's just a beneficial spot for you. You're always favored. And if you're familiar with all the maps and you take those angles, you're gonna end up being a top player just off of that alone. So top gloveworks AWPer has excellent knowledge of all the maps and they know how to bait.
Yeah, I think good
And that's pretty
baiting's
much it.
good baiting's up there. When you see like the top oppers, I mean it's I think that's a reason why you'll see even Nur like up at the top. Like it's being a skilled bait. It's being aware, right, of like where your team is at on the map. Like, all right, I got a guy looking at left lane. That must mean that's clear. A lot of our team's pushing down right lane. We don't have anyone up top, so let's follow my team down right lane. You can assume that there's probably 2 or 3 guys up top, like that kind of stuff, right? So
Exactly.
yeah. Even just having team awareness, that's like definitely something. Like top 10, top 20 players in the server are also like being quite aware of like where your teammates are at on the map, and then like not peeking a stupid angle that like obviously there's enemies there that like your team has presence. You've only got fucking 10 players on your team. You see 7 of them over there and then 1 there, which means like, all right, well, if the other team isn't on that side of the map, they're on the other one. You probably shouldn't have peeked that angle. So yeah, when you're not focused on like that kind of stuff and you're just kind of just brain dead opping, you're not paying attention, and then you'll just make these stupid fucking decisions that get you killed, and the top players don't do that. They're always on it.
Dominating!
Right. So so I'm asking Chewie a question here. Would you consider yourself to be a baiter? Do you find yourself baiting when you're playing on a server, or like are you consciously like baiting your teammates?
So yeah, I'm not like baiting every time. More often than not, like at the beginning of the round, I try to take the position. So I probably like push because usually when I play, if you spectate me, I'll probably be the first person like jumping down towards the middle or trying to get the top spot. But like if you're on a team where you're like the only one good person on there, I'll probably bait more on that type of team. If that makes sense, but
I get that. That makes sense. If your team's stacked, it ends up being more about who gets the kills first, and you're like kind of racing your teammates to outfrag
yeah,
them. But if you're on the worst team, it instead becomes you're actually fighting for your life, and you're trading each of your teammates for a kill.
it's true. But I feel like if you're a really good player, you're like you'll be able to get like the positions you want even on a bad team because you'll be able to kill the people that are also trying to take the same position as you. But I don't know.
All right.
And I think and then there's also players that like do really well on the server with like not a lot of players, and there's other players that can still perform. Like I'd say that's like something that makes like the best players in the server stand out, is when someone can do really well in a full server versus someone that just like, oh, I do really well and there's only 8 people in the server and it's a 4v4 and then I can like hold my own. Whereas like the best players in the server, it doesn't matter. It could be 4v4 or it could be 12v12 and they're still going to perform well.
Yeah, there's just a whole different tier of player. If you're able to perform when the server's full, you just have like a completely different understanding of what's going on compared to someone else. Like a 4v4 is really just you can pretty much narrow down what each of the enemies are going to be doing in that situation. So it's much easier to like position yourself, and you might just be able to easily figure out off of sound what's going on. But on a full server, it's especially with the radar off, you kind of have to actually
Actually, that's the first time.
Be aware.
That's the first time we brought. So that's something that I personally love about our op servers and like all of our servers. We disable the radar. I feel like that's like a pretty unique. I think in most other op servers you're gonna join where they have a radar on. We specifically have it all like radar turned off for everyone to make it more difficult. Yeah, it's way too easy to have radar on because then you get just basically a free radar hacks because someone peeks out wide and then you have the whole fucking team, the whole opposing team is kind of just lit up on your radar for the most part, and it's bullshit. So we intentionally disable the radar in our servers to raise the skill ceiling. So and yeah, I think that comes into play too, right? So like in a if there's only 8 players in the server, it's a 4v4. There's just not that much information to go around. Like your brain doesn't have to process very much information. You can kind of just rely on sound cues here and there, and you should have a pretty good understanding of where people are at in the server and what you're gonna do. But in a full server, 12v12, it's absolute mayhem, and you have to have like a whole different like eyeballs and game sense to like tap into, where you got to like filter out like your team's footsteps noise, your team's awareness here, team awareness there. Everything's just happening faster. There's more variables to track at a certain like specific amount of time. So I'd say that's something that like a top AWPer can do, is playing well in a server that's like filled 12v12 on and especially on the small maps. It's so fucking hard. Like Doodlebop,
Yes.
full server. Holy fuck, dude.
The most one of the most impressive things I've seen is when the top players pop off on India Proto, because it's one of the smallest maps on a full server. Like I don't know how you can avoid dying.
You have to
but
be
I've seen
so precise, like you wiggle out even just a half inch to the left, you're dead, dude. You can't fuck up your movement at all. It's on a map like Op Proto.
Yeah, I really think about like the way they get away with it, I feel, is they position so that they can like very slightly peek maybe, and then their opponents who are targeting them will miss. Like they'll maybe see the shoulder or something and they'll miss, and then that shot gives them the info of, okay, there's a player there. So now I'm gonna consciously like think of that, where that player was. Maybe they're gonna push, maybe not. And it's just so much like maybe these top players are actually able to process all the sound cues in this 12v12 scenario,
right?
And just have an understanding of where people are just based off of that mayhem. Like I can't really do that when there's that much noise pollution on the server from all the ops and all the mic spam. Maybe they turn off voice. That's probably that makes sense.
I feel like there's a lot of people that join the server that turn off voice. Yeah, I mean, for one, it's just annoying as all fuck, and then 2, for gameplay reasons, if you want to just hear footsteps and try and have maintain good points, it's definitely within your best interest to disable voice.
Interesting. I like keeping voice on personally, but I keep it out of low volume typically.
I guess.
I just like what you say.
I mean, I guess that's another thing. That's why you're not a top player in my standards, is because you don't do everything it takes. I feel like voice, if you're sweating, if you're really trying to sweat, and then there's people on the mic that are just trying to mess with you. I don't really know. I'm not being too serious here when I'm saying this.
Yeah, I feel like voice probably has like the lowest like effect on your gameplay, really. If you keep it at a low
I mean, I'm a man of the people. I have my voice at 200% in games, so if I'm trying to clutch around and people are hot on the mic, I'm pretty fucked. I can't hear shit.
I mean, the only upside is people ghosting for you. Be like, oh yeah, he's in the tower.
I mean, we really don't have much of a ghosting problem in the servers. I feel like everyone does a really good job about self-policing, like people that are ghosting. That like, it's rarely something I need to enforce as an admin, where people are just like Like, hey, no, there's no ghosting in this server, man. The rules. I feel like everyone just bitches people out. Like, dude, stop ghosting. You're a bitch. And like, oh, and then like, yeah, I feel like the server polices itself in that regard.
Yeah, and there is also an understanding that like it's okay to ghost if it's like someone's AFK, someone's sitting in the corner and
Yeah, yeah.
spawn, someone's hiding somewhere in the map just stalling out the
Yeah,
round.
like it's you can't get mad at people for ghosting when there's a guy left in the tower on Lego 2. He's like, he's in the tower. It's just like they just want to fucking play. They don't want to sit here and watch this fucking round play out. Like, yeah, I don't get mad at people when people are ghosting for the tower shit. I think it's completely understandable. And yeah, I just feel like overall that the AIM arena environment, like it's not gonna really encourage ghosters. Like such a small map, they're gonna find him anyways. Like it doesn't really matter what you fucking say.
That's true on some maps. I mean, there are a lot of maps you can completely stall out the round on. Like I can imagine Milky Way, someone's just in one of the corners and spawn, and then you just aren't searching for them. I don't know. I mean, if anything, it would stall out the round by like 20 seconds, but that's kind of annoying if they're doing that every round. So
Yeah, and then if they're doing it every round, they're being annoying. Then people eventually do like ghost them out, and no one complains about it because they deserve it. Deserved ghosting. It's like getting kicked out of a restaurant for being an asshole. Like, yeah, like get the fuck out. You're being a prick. Don't yell at your waiter when it's not her fucking fault. Your fucking French fries are a little too overdone, bro. Like fucking relax. So in this server, I mean, I guess we have some recent developments in Gloveworks, right? Over the past 2 days, AWPer is back in the server. That's very exciting for me to see. That's my outside of AWP India. That is my favorite AWP map. So I'm super stoked to see that back in the server. And I noticed. I started playing the map again, and it just felt like nostalgia. Like I'm like, yo, and I think AWPer, like I don't know, just the maps we've all like that you've literally only played in a Gloveworks server are like you. It makes the server feel like home. Like it's just like yeah, this is where you fucking play these maps. Because we're the only op servers like pretty much in the world that play these maps. Because there's no other servers in the world that have created like this sweaty of an op arena playstyle. Like it just doesn't exist. They're just like playing with their skins, you know, fiddling around on their computer, thinking, "Oh, this is fun. This is silly. I'm opping. Look at me." Like, no, bitch. Like, you gotta sweat. You gotta earn your fucking keep here. Like, and yeah, a map like AWPer, I'd say is very like Gloveworks. Op No Mercy is very Gloveworks. Just the maps we've made like for the server, I'd say, in 2000 from like 2001 to 2023, like in that 2 to 3 years, like that window are actually like kind of iconic for like the opping culture or like history in the server, where like when you play these maps, you feel like you're in a Gloveworks server because like we're the only servers that play them.
True. I like AWPer. I feel like it's a map that a top player can show their dominance on.
Yeah, I think it's you can isolate a lot of your fights on the map. So I think you know, if you have good awareness and you're a good player, I mean every good player can isolate every clutch situation. So if you're in a 1v3 situation, you can isolate it into like 3 1v1s and pull it off. That's my favorite thing about AWPer, I feel. And I feel
Interesting.
it's a hybrid too of like long distance and short distance. So there's short distance fights, long distance fights, headshot fights. It's got a good variety. Something about the map, I just like it. I mean, not to mention it's got the Op India nipple in the bottom of the middle. So
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
can't forget the nipple.
that shape is hands down my favorite shape to see in an op map.
Uh, well, how will you play? Like, how do you typically play OP? Are you more like, do you like to take the top position, or are you more like a middle or side position person?
I am spawn based.
Okay.
So if I spawn towards the left or right edge, I will push and I'll go up the ramp. Oh no, actually this is specifically to the right side. So if I spawn on the right side, I'll run, I'll jump off the ledge towards the right and then push into the room and then play from the room. If I spawn on the left side, I'll play a headshot. Like I'll run up to the box, jump up on the box, and then play the diagonal headshot, and then just kind of play there for a little while, and then kind of just vibe check the round. And then depending on like the meta of the map session, I'll gauge whether or not if I feel like it's a good idea, if I can get good control of lower before anyone else, then I'll, if I have that spawn, then I'll go for it. But that's like depends who's online and how they're playing. But I think a lot of the times if you time it well with a good spawn, you can get good control of the lower middle pretty well.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you like more of the spawn-based strats. For that.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like almost well, some of the spawns are more farther back, but I feel like most of the spawns you get are always closer to the ramp. So I usually always go for the top play. I try to get the top.
Okay. It could get.
Interesting.
I feel like you can just get like if I'm going for that most of the time, I feel like the people like figure your meta out and then like it burns it. You get burnt out. Like you can do it for 4 rounds, and then they'll notice that like your dominance on the top, and then you can get overwhelmed. They can just start jumping up on so many different sides, and you got to drop down, and it gets pretty messy. Where I mean, I'll go up there, but typically I'm gonna head up top if I've spawned on the left side. On the left side, I'm not going to swing out and peek left because of a disadvantage of peeking out left. And then really the only place to go is either to run middle, and you're on the left side. You're pretty exposed trying to go into the middle there. I feel like there's just like not that much cover. So I mean, your only option is to just kind of either push up top or just kind of camp it out by the boxes on the ramp.
I feel like it's hard not to take top and perform. I meaning, I can't think of any other strategy on that map that wouldn't be vulnerable to the top.
I agree.
Like you get so much, like it's just such a huge advantage. I understand you're exposed to so much because at any point, like you said, anyone can just pop up, but there's only so many places they could pop up from. It's like similar to Lego 2. If you're on top, you can only be like peeked from either of the two ramps. I mean, they could also peek from the ladders, but at that point there's a sound cue and they also have to like land after climbing up the ladder, which is a skill in itself to do that like smoothly. So there's only a few places you have to look to get like surprised by. Otherwise, if you're on top of heat, you have full control of like what you want to expose yourself to, and it's anything that's below you. So on the other hand, so when I play the map, what I'm supposed to do on the top. So all I do is I do the spawn peak, the earliest fight you can take, which is the diagonal from one ramp to the other, which is only half the time because that diagonal peak only exists from the left ramps. Like the right ramps, there's like the boxes I think that are blocking the diagonal peak, but from left ramp to left ramp, So you're peeking to your right, diagonally through the middle. That fight's like, cause I just love spawn fights. So I'll take the pick there, and at that point, since I took that spawn fight, I'm late to going up top. So then I have to jump down and go through the middle, which means I'm also late to middle, but it's a little like I'm like, I don't know. That's just the meta I've tried on the map is take that spawn fight, then go through the underground middle area, and that's the only way I've found to like avoid the top entirely is to just go underground.
Interesting. You don't like try to avoid that left ramp peak and just try to get the top directly so you're not late or
Um, I've I don't know. It's hard to. I feel it's hard to do the side fights because someone can like when you have a ramp that is also a side peak. There's so many like different heights they can peak from. So it's kind of hard to push that type of position.
mm.
At the same
So-
time, like it's at least it's at least safe because you can just hug the wall and then it's not. I don't think it's that hard to flick. I don't know. I'm just not that comfortable pushing the sides on the heat.
Yeah, I mean, so the main reason why I play spawn based is kind of like what you said, like getting there late. Like I feel like a lot of heat is like getting there first. So like top plat, if like I'd feel like more times than not, it's who gets there first is gonna win. So if I can't get there first, then I'll be heading somewhere else where I feel like there's a win, and that's why like I'm staying lower a lot. There's so many free kills in the server if you just yeah, if you just go to the lower and like you just catch so many people just running by and shit like that, or just like boop boop boop, you just get a 1 or 2 kills and then you got a clutch. But like I said, I feel pretty comfortable clutching on heat, so I feel like it works.
Is there a map that, and I guess this is more for Chewie as the current number one. Is there a map that you feel you just can't perform on?
Um, the thing is, I would say I feel like Summer Surf is a tough map, but I've looked on gamey stats and they say like Summer Surf is one of the maps that I've had high like kills on. I'm not sure because we play a lot on the server. That's probably why. Um, but I feel like Summer Surf is kind of a hard map to play, just because there's a lot more like divots on the floor, and there's the river, and then like the surf that you can take on the spawn side to take you directly into the corner. That's like a newer position that's came out with the newer map. But I would say Summer Surf is, I feel like it's a harder map to frag out now. I don't know how you feel about it.
Okay. So that's a good mention of Game Me because they have map performances. So I'm on your Game Me profile sorting by your worst KDs, and I see Asylum. You only have a 1.73 KD with 300 something kills and 180 deaths. Do you think that makes sense, or do you think you're good at Asylum?
I think Asylum is one of my best maps. What's my playtime? It shows.
It's about 2 hours 40 minutes, but I don't know how I don't know what stats this is tracking. If this is just the brand new one that just came out a couple days ago, or if it's because I don't know if it's the Japanese version because it's just going by the map
Oh,
name. So
right.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's just CS:GO specifically.
Oh,
Or
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, I don't know what stats they're tracking because it's mixed between like I see CS2 maps, but then I see like Gani V2 are actually this might all be CS2. I don't know. But anyway, so uh beyond that, there's like create. Maybe it's just the more you play a map, the lower your KD is gonna like even out. But you have like Creek, you have 1.89 KD,
Yeah.
and that's like double your Asylum kills. So I guess you're just better at Creek than you are at Asylum, which makes
Interesting.
sense because I think you said that was your former best performing map,
Yeah,
but
it
before the
is my
spawn
best
change.
map on CS:GO. On Counter-Strike 2, though, it's since it feels spawns are a little bit different. I've performed a little bit worse because since people can push the middle easier now,
Right.
people you get backstop a lot more often
You're
now.
You have almost a three. You have a 2.8 KD on Lego 2 over like 548 kills. So that's crazy to me. So you just own on Lego 2.
Interesting.
Same for Eggplant. Eggplant, you're at 2.67 over like 700 kills. Like comparing that to Asylum, which is 1 point, like it's a whole like factor lower. I'm mentioning that because I feel like Asylum is another map. It's in concept, it's similar to Heat in that like you need to control the top or else you're not really able to perform. Like you're if you're not controlling top, you're vulnerable to it. Um, so it becomes kind of tricky, and it's also much smaller. So like I feel Asylum's one of the more chaotic maps, so I don't know how people can consistently perform on that map. I think it's just overall too much going on.
That makes sense. I feel like yeah, top. I mean, top it definitely is an important position on Asylum. I feel like I'm pretty good at taking top on Asylum. I don't know. I feel like I don't really get that killed on top of the top position that much, but Game show is different, so like, but I don't know how they're tracking Asylum because we update it so often.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at chaotic. I'm curious now. I am so curious about.
I mean, the point you brought up about your like most played maps, it makes sense. If you're like overall KD on your most played maps, the more you play a map, like the less, I mean the less I would expect your KD to be high, just because there's volume, just the metrics. You're not going to be on like you like when I like my favorite maps. I know for certain. I just zone out. I kind of just vibe on the map. I'm not like sweating. I just like the fights. I like the angles. I like playing the map. I like being in this place in the world right now. Just leave me alone in my little map here. So it makes sense if if the stats didn't reflect a person's like top performing map like as their like best overall stats for that map. And Chewie, I agree with your take on the Op Summer Surf. Like I think the newer version is harder than it was in CS:GO. But with that said, I would say Summer Surf might be the hardest map to do well on. Even in the older version, there's just not too many tactics you can use or like that you can deploy where I feel like it's a predictable outcome. A lot of it's just RNG, it's luck where the other team's pushing, if your team captured an area or not. There's really just not too much cover on the map. I mean, it's a fun map, don't get me wrong. I love it. I think Observer Surf's fucking fun as fuck. But is it a map I would choose to do the Gloveworks challenge on to hold a 3-to-1 kill death ratio like consistently, like on demand, live in front of the studio audience? Like fuck no, dude. Like no way. That is probably one of the last maps I would pick that I think I'm gonna actually do well on.
Right. And for the new Gloveworks challenge, is it there's a new format you said, right? It was supposed to be it's going to be 3 maps somehow. I don't remember.
Yeah, so the old challenge was holding a 3-to-1 kill death ratio across 3 different maps, and you would spend 10 minutes on each map. it's just it's overkill. The gloveworks challenge was too complicated. When we revive it and we bring it back, we're just gonna do one map. Hold one map for 20 minutes
Oh,
and hold the 3-to-1 kill death ratio, and that's that. And it's something you could practice for in the server. I mean, if you can do a whole map 20 minutes and hold that 3-to-1 KD, then you're practicing for the Gloveworks challenge. I mean, the only thing that's going to change from you doing it in the server and on the challenge is that it's going to be like, how well do you handle pressure, knowing that all eyes are on you? And when you whiff a shot, it's on the books, man. We're going to fucking laugh at your ass. You damn well bet your ass if you miss an easy shot, we're going to call your ass out and laugh at you.
stuff. But then only the best. I mean, actually, can anyone try the challenge? I'm not sure how you choose people or.
We usually just pick people that are like, that we think are talented AWPers, that we think could, stand a chance to actually win. Pretty much, yeah. Just if we think someone can actually beat the challenge, because it's not easy. So yeah, if we actually think someone might have a chance to win and beat the challenge, then I mean that's basically the criteria.
Interesting.
So you're definitely on the list, sir.
Let's see. If I were to beat this challenge, would Justin, would you think I'm a better
Ooh,
closer
yeah,
to a number
Justin.
one
Would
ranked
your
player?
opinion change of Chewie if he were to beat the challenge?
All right, so let me clarify, all right? So the question here is, all right, is Chewie uh fitting in my standards of what an iconic top tier like Gloveworks AWPer is? Just based off of the fact that he's number one, you'd think yeah. But based off of me spectating him, I've seen him play for fun. I've seen him go for no scopes, go for quick scopes, and just make decisions that a person who wants to be number one would not even like consider doing. Like, you're not here to have fun. You're here to establish yourself as the best on the server. So, based off of that, I don't think Chewie's there. What I've been repeating is that the only reason Chewie's number one is because the real number one has not been on the server to take their rightful place. Chewie's just warming up the seat. So
That does happen.
if Chewie were to perform on the Gloveworks challenge, I am confident he could. Like all that means is like that would just leave me asking like, okay, why don't you perform like that all the time? Just be the best you can be on the server, because that's the standard that you need to set as the top player on the server. You need to be the sweat. That's how I feel
Right.
about it.
I see. Well, I feel like yeah, like it goes back to what you said. Like, there's not really a player or someone I guess on often who's number one level. So I go for these no scopes and quick shots. I feel like there is someone that gets on like daily, like a top one player potential. I'll probably try hard a lot more. But I feel like you will only spectate me when I have fun, quote unquote, according to you.
I guess so. I guess like maybe I don't know. I feel like you should like okay. I've seen people have like they climb up to a certain point because they're tryharding, and then they'll like have a separate account that they're just gonna chill on and have fun. That's what
Oh,
that's what I ended up having to do when I used to be a sweat. I would go on the server because I used to go on a server, I would sweat, and then I'd stay on the server. Like, okay, this is how I work. For me to perform well, it has to be like early on in the day. Like I have to wake up. I'd have to like, uh, okay, this is back a little bit after I graduated college, and I would also exercise and I'd be like in shape. So I would exercise in the morning. I'd eat a peanut butter sandwich. I'd take a shower. I'd come onto the op server. It'd be morning. I'd be on East Coast with like 10 ping, and then I would rip apart the server. I might even do aim beast for like 15
Damn,
minutes
you're
just to
fucking doing
warm
some
up.
aim beast before you hop on the server.
Yes,
The
I'd be warming up
sweat.
for the
The
server.
sweat. You know what? God damn it! I need to start doing that.
All right. So that's the warm up routine I had to do just to perform at the same level as the other people on the server who probably can just effortlessly take
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
So I'd be doing that training like daily over the summer, just to grind and perform and be a top player. And then after about like an hour or maybe 2 hours, I'd be burnt already. I'd feel like I'm already like slowing down. I'm losing the effects of that warm up routine are like falling off. My brain's sluggish. And at that point, I would still stay on the server because I'm like, all right, well, I'm just having fun at this point. So then all the effort I put into climbing is
Right.
lost. So at that point, what I ended up doing is I had an alt account to sweat on, and then when I decide, okay, I'm done sweating, I'd go back on my main and then just play for fun.
I think that that's a good way to go about it. Like have an alt account where you sign on and put the effort in, and then you have your fun account where you can just relax and have a good time. Because it's very hard to do both. I find it's very difficult to have have a good time.
Yeah, it's so hard to have fun.
Well, what if like I'm trying to create a new style where tryharding includes, these those scopes and quick scopes?
True.
Like no one
I
does
refuse
that.
to believe that. I refuse to believe if I spectate you and I see you miss a no scope, I immediately think this guy's a punk. Why didn't he just scope? And now he has to shoot another time and miss another no scope. And then in that brief period, you could have gotten that kill, gotten another kill, and avoided dying. And instead, you miss a no scope, miss another. You might
Yup.
get that kill, and you're just gonna die right after. Like that whole. If I witness that happen to a top player, I'm like, how is this guy a top player? He's messing around. This guy's playing like a punk.
This guy's just a
Who does he
punk.
think he is?
You think this is a joke? You think you're just gonna
Right.
go around running and no scoping and knifing? And you think this is funny?
This is
I feel like
gloveworks.
my play style compared to a pro player, it would be like simple, like because
Okay.
simple.
Whoa
Relax.
there!
No scopes
Whoa!
in real games.
Whoa!
That's the type of playing he does. He no scopes and quick scopes.
All
when
right,
he
you're
plays the op.
Chewie
You're
is claiming to be the
unhinged.
simple of gloveworks. Whatever, dude.
Unhinged.
Because I don't see another like pro op player that does that. Zaiwu doesn't do that. He's just quick. Like he doesn't mess around usually when I watch Zaiwu. But
I mean,
simple.
you're right. I mean, I have the same feeling that you do about it. I feel like Zaiwu is more like a calculated Terminator type of guy, whereas Simple is more like a showman, an acrobat, but he's
Yeah,
also
exactly.
consistent. So you have to. I mean, I can't really argue and say you're not consistent if you're number one right now, but at the same time, it's still gonna pain me. It'll bring me like agony if I spectate you and see you no scope and miss. It's like, what is he doing? Just kill him normally. Is it really like the only time I'd say is reasonable is if you genuinely feel that that person will kill you if you take the time to actually no scope. I mean, to actually scope in. So you have to no scope in order to get the kill, or else you'll die. So that's the only like argument I can see is you're like min-maxing like the risk versus reward of, oh, I have to no scope here. If I don't, then I'm gonna die. But like the only situation I could think of for that to make sense is like in close range fights, like Op Asylum in the bottom area, or Lego 2 in the bottom area, or any other map that has a bottom area, like Doodle Bop. Like any of those maps, yeah, sure, go for the no scope if you're like in point blank shotgun range with the op. But beyond that, if you're like no scoping long range, you're not playing seriously, and I don't want to see that. Be a sweat. That's what I see is as being about it is you're trying to grind this thing. You're trying to get all the points. So the people who are really about it in my eyes are the sweats. So I think Nur is about it, despite all the
Oh, Nerd's the greatest. Nerd's the
I'll talk
sweatiest
trash,
sweat of all
but-
time, and I love him. I'm so much more because of his sweat. I'd be so much more inclined to get a tattoo of Nur on my chest than I were of Chewie, just to represent the sweat. Because I mean, I'm sweating, you know. I got a sweaty chest from just gaming it up all day, and I would say my sweat would have Nur all over it. You know, when I think of sweat, I think about Nur. When I think about Chewie, think about him just not taking me very seriously. He thinks he's just better than me. It's Chewie, not taking it.
Are you Batman?
You think this is silly? So we got op heat, so that's super fun as fuck. Get in the server, check that out, and then today we can rejoice. The gloveworks Deagle server has been revived. Basically, it was broken for the longest time, and I finally spent a bunch of time today. We got a map pool on there. It's not as good as it was. I mean, nothing as good as it was in CSGO, but we've got a good map pool on there. The Deagle, all the functionality is working properly. You Deagle, you get a kill, you get 100 HP back, and you also get a full clip of ammo. And yeah, had a fun little session with everyone today. It was a good time.
I love Deagle.
Yeah, I did. Okay, so I guess I forgot how much I enjoyed it, right? Like, I don't know. It's kind of just it's a lot different than sitting in an op server when you join the Deagle. Like, it's kind of just like, you're just chilling, popping the Deagle around. It's not as noise spammy in there because it's not as loud as the op. So it's definitely just a different vibe to just chill and sesh and Deagle and shit. So I'm a fan. I definitely missed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I was talking about it this morning with you guys about how about the Deagle server having headshot only or not, and so when I was playing it today, I was having 100% headshot anyway. I wasn't having the best KD. I wasn't popping off, but like the argument over having it be a headshot only or not, like, doesn't really matter that much. Like, if you want to go for headshots, you can. Like,
And
I
when
don't
you
think
hit
I
them,
got
you're owning the noobs, bro. Like, if you're hitting headshot after headshot after headshot, you're gonna clearly be the best player in the server, having a great time. So,
like, the only scenario where I can see it being annoying is if there's any small maps and then people are just body spamming you. But I think most of the maps are fairly long range, so if you're getting like hit not in the head, it's probably gonna only do like 25 damage or maybe 30. So, and even with 30 damage, it's still gonna take them 4 shots. So if you can't get a headshot within the opponent hitting you 4 times, then that's, well, I mean, it could be aim punch, but more often than not, it just means you're not hitting them. So it's not that big of a deal. If I don't even think it matters as much. It definitely does not matter as much as I had initially thought when I was thinking about it earlier today. Like, I think that having it headshot only or not is pretty insignificant. The only thing that having headshot only enables is people jumping around, b-hopping, and then trying to knife you,
It's
which is
so
just annoying.
It's so annoying in the old headshot only servers. At the end of every goddamn round, people just be bunny hopping around, spinning like a madman, just avoiding getting headshot. Like, it's ridiculous. And then a lot of times in the headshot only server, they had knife disabled, so you couldn't even go up and knife the guy. You have to hit him in the head. He's just sitting there with fucking spinning the entire time, and I'm just want to blow my brains out sitting there waiting for the round to end. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I like what the Deagle server has. I mean, it has never been a headshot only server, and I will never have it be a headshot only server. So I think it's a great middle ground for the noobs that can hop on. They can get some body shots, at least get a frag or two. They can have a good time on the server. And then the sweaty nerds that can actually hit a nice, clean Deagle headshots, they will reign supreme if you're hitting those Deagle headshots. But it's also friendlier to a little newbito that joins, and they can actually get a kill or two. Because if a low skill player joins a Deagle headshot only server, a lot of the times they could play in the server for 10 minutes and not even get a kill. Wouldn't even be unrealistic because they're just not that good enough yet. And you know what's going to happen? They're not going to join the server again. And they don't. It's been proven. Back in CS:GO, there was the PRG headshot only server, and then there was our server, the just restoring 100 HP on every kill. And inevitably what happened is PRG died. The server was empty all the time. The entire community died and server died because it excludes too much of the Counter-Strike population, being all the shitters. And all the sweaty people think it's a fun time, but the rest of the population doesn't. And if you exclude that many people, well, your server's just gonna die eventually. And toward the last year of CS:GO, we were the last standing Deagle server in the game, in North America at least. So the proof's in the numbers, the proof's in the population, and server still being active and still being played in to this date.
Yep. And the Deagle server is also it should have their own leaderboard system as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, the Deagle server has its own separate point system. We'll have a different leaderboard on the website available for it. And let's see, and that's that. The one thing I would be willing to implement, but I'm not going to create it myself, but if there is a plugin developer out there that would like to introduce a mechanic into the Deagle server that would have it every 10 rounds, there would be a round where it's a headshot only round in the Deagle server. I would be open to that, where the 10th round would start, it would spam in chat, this is a headshot only round, and then you play it's headshot only, and then the preceding next 10 rounds would be normal, and then that 11th round would then be another Deagle headshot only round. That would be a feature I'd be willing to implement. And with that said, man, dude, this project, I mean, this is a project first and foremost. That, I mean, we've accrued, insert word, to accumulated, attracted like an awesome community, which I'm very proud of, and I love you all dearly. But
humiliation.
Coming over to CS2, man, we need all the fucking help we can get. We need help on all fronts, and we've got some projects and little GitHub repositories you're more than welcome to become a part of, to help develop plugins and features for the servers, help with some mapping and stuff in the game. So yeah, if you want to get into Counter-Strike map making and you'd like to make an op map and see it on the server, let us know. If you want to start developing some cool features in game, you want to get into plugin development. It's developed in C# in a language called Counter-Strike Sharp. I mean, yeah, if you know what you're doing and stuff, you want to get involved, just hit us up. We're available on the Discord, on the forum, and that kind of stuff. So Chewie, Justin, anything else you guys want to say?
Let's see. So yeah, about the plugins or stuff contributing on that side. Um, if whoever's listening, if you got to this point and you are interested in contributing in any way, you can reach out to me. In the
Humiliation.
comments of this video. I will definitely respond. I am FF Justin in the comments. But yeah, beyond that, just get working, glove workers. Be about it.
Yeah, with that said, yeah, if you want to get involved with mapping and stuff like that, the DMs are always open. Feel free to comment in the comments if you want to get jump started in some mapping. I can try and figure out some good resources for where you could start on making your first dot map. So appreciate and love you guys.
Bye.
Be about it.